All right, man, let's go. Next couple games here. Similar spreads, interesting ones here. Kansas City Chiefs at the New York Giants. This is Sunday Night Football, a battle of the 0-2 Chiefs and the 0-2 Giants. The Chiefs are favored by 5.5, though, still on the road. I did see someone suggest the Chiefs are the early favorite to be the exploding whale team. I think they need about half a season. That's this.
Yeah.
We'll pull it out. When we have an exploding whale game prediction, we'll do something with the hat, like really accentuate that. But it's got to be like week 8 to 10 or something. The Chiefs are sitting there with they only have 3 or 4 wins, and they go and like beat up on Buffalo or something. That's their exploding whale game. It's too early. For that.
Nobody's washed up on the beach after 2 games.
That's right.
Except the Dolphins.
Except maybe the Dolphins. It's a good metaphor for a dolphin.
Yeah.
Poor guys.
Mm-hmm.
Chiefs at Giants. Intriguing matchup. This is the one we sat here yesterday. If you missed yesterday's show, we did our Shouty Show takes, and there was the predictable Chiefs dynasty or dynasty is dead. It's over.
Yep.
It's over. 2 weeks into the season. 3 losses in a row. First time in the Mahomes era, including the playoffs here. It's all over. Let's declare it dead. This is the type of game, though. Even me, Mr. Even Keel. If the Chiefs lose this game, we got to start asking questions. Because then they have Baltimore in week 4. They have Detroit in week 6. This is the game that the Chiefs have to win.
This is where I'm going with my survivor pick this week, because I have absolutely the Chiefs have been one of those teams for years. Like, we got to save them for later in the year. I don't want to save the Chiefs. I don't have any confidence in them this year at all winning games. However, I still think they should beat the Giants. So I want to get them out of the way early. Well, I think it's still a reasonable chance of them winning. Look, I think the point that we were making yesterday is they're not in a good situation right now. They're not in a good space. However, they're still better than forget it. It's time to blow it all up, write them off. They're going to get players back, important players. And these losses, the 0-2 losses, have come against the defending Super Bowl champions who annihilated them the last time they played, right? So they did a lot better this time than they did the last time. And a Chargers team who look like they could be very good as well. So, they are probably better than they've looked already just because of who they faced. And they're going to get some players back as the season develops. So I don't think it's quite as bad as it looks right now, but it isn't great.
Yeah, I agree. It's you also add in there's no Rashee Rice.
Yeah.
Xavier Worthy. I mean, just add in a lot of different things here. But every metric about the Chiefs through 2 weeks, for whatever it's worth, mediocre team.
Yeah.
They're a mediocre team who's 0-2 because they've played 2 good teams, as you said.
And there's definitely signal to the idea that Mahomes is playing differently now just through 2 weeks than he usually does, and has basically been saying it publicly. Like, I think I need to start doing some of this running, putting my body on the line, trucking safeties, like the stuff that you normally see from Mahomes in January. He's doing it in September because he thinks the team needs it, and he's right, and it still hasn't been enough. So, it's all real is what I'm saying. Like, this is not a great team that's had a couple of unlucky bounces of the ball and they're 0-2. This is a team that is struggling right now, but I think it's a little early to say, just, with that struggle, they're done.
One of those notes from our friends, Next Gen Stats, NFL Pro, Patrick Mahomes averaged the second quickest time to throw in the league this year. 2.47 would be by far the quickest of his career. Previous low was 2.78. But that was his rookie season. He's usually like a 2.8 type of guy. So 2.47 for Mahomes. And scrambling more often, right, to the point where he had 60 yards in the first half.
He's been leading the team for most games.
There's no run game.
For a while.
There's little effectiveness. I saw Mitchell Schwartz, talking about this quote that Andy Reid, Pat likes to play under center, and we're doing that more this year, even though they haven't really. So I'm interested to see what the changes are to this Chiefs offense. Matchup-wise, we've got a great one. Creed Humphrey, Dexter Lawrence, head-to-head. That's great on great when it comes to Chiefs center, Creed Humphrey, and nose tackle, Dexter Lawrence. I will keep saying every single week the pass rush of the Giants with Abdul Carter, Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau, Dexter Lawrence, they all have a chance to wreck a game. Kansas City's offensive line has been pretty good in pass protection overall. It's probably the best test. I don't know if it's the best test, but it's a good test for Josh Simmons, the rookie left tackle. for the Chiefs. So it's probably the best pure pass rush test that they've had. But the Giants' defense has not been great. They've given up a lot on the back end, a little disappointed in their back seven, but I think they have that potential. And then I would say for the Giants, in their perspective, to pull this upset, I'm not, Russell Wilson, completing 5 or 6 downfield throws. I mean, that's not a formula to just throw out there. Like, hey, just if you just complete 5 or 6, 40-yarders every week, you'll be okay.
That's kind of what he's shooting for.
But you should try. I'm just saying this. It's still the Chiefs, and for teams to pull the upset against the Chiefs, which this would be, I think you always have to have this level of aggressiveness, trying to create explosive plays. I want to see Russell Wilson continue to try to attack down the field, and you're going to get. Remember, last week Spags was busting out. All right, we need these all-out blitzes against the Eagles. One of Russ's signature plays. By the way, I saw a stat that I forget. I don't know where the source was, but the Chiefs are 20% cover zero this year. 20% cover zero, no safety help. One of the signature stylistic plays of Russ's career is like, bring cover zero.
Yeah.
I'm going to retreat, throw the fade, knowing there's no safety help, and complete it anyway.
Right.
Just keep an eye when they throw cover zero, Russ is able to hit those deep balls. Hey guys, real quick, only 40% of our viewers are actually subscribed, so let's change that. Hit that subscribe button, and now let's get back to the action.
Yeah, I mean, massively oversimplifying, but in Russell Wilson's career, the more safeties involved, the worse he plays. If you take safeties out of the middle of the field, let him back up, let him throw a moon ball, that maximizes the ability of the receiver to, run under the ball, go win the play, and make, when a safety's involved, the time that ball's in the air, the safety can come across, make the play, and if there's multiple safeties, he has a less distance to travel in order to make that play, and the play can look ridiculous from Russell's point of view. So, look, you live by the sword, you die by the sword of that type of defense, but Russell Wilson's the type of quarterback that could exploit it. Now, he's also the type of quarterback that could, throw the ball up and it goes nowhere, either incomplete or intercepted. But, he is playing a massively high variance style of football right now, and we saw that against Dallas where, late in the game, he was only looking for a deep shot. Now, the deep shot had worked a couple of times in that game already, so you can kind of get it. But he went out there with, I need to score in this drive. I'm only shooting deep. Like other quarterbacks, again, you go out there let's just take 7 yards. Let's try and get the chains moving, blah, blah, blah. Russ is like, nah, I got 4 shots to get 50 yards. I need one of them, right? I only need to complete 25% of these, and I'm good. That's what he was shooting for. That's wildly high variance. You're going to have some incompletions, you might have some turnovers, or you might have a touchdown on any given play that he heaves deep. Those are wild swings of outcome.
And it was the opposite of week 1, where I was like, it's the same old offense. They're dinking and dunking. Last week's average depth of target was almost 14, throwing the ball.
Jameis on his shoulder.
That was so week 1 was like all the coaches, take care of the ball, just read it out. And then Jameis is over here, Russ.
Close your eyes, heave deep. What's the worst that could happen?
Now, do you think Jameis gets to him? Primetime game. Look, Russ, they think you're cooked. They're not letting you cook. They think you're cooked. It's primetime. Chris Collinsworth in the booth. Chris loves your moon ball. You going to show him the moon ball, Russ? Show him how many times what's the over-under on moon balls?
Yeah, a lot.
Being said, Chris saying it on Sunday Night Football.
Think how much they love Patrick Mahomes. You're just going to sit there and let all the attention go to him?
You going to let Chris talk that guy up?
No.
Right? You got a Super Bowl too.
You do.
Right? You've only lost 1 Super Bowl. He's lost 2.
Yeah.
Right? You show him. He's like, that average depth of target, you get that thing to 16 this Sunday. You get that thing to 16.
Why not?
I love this. It's going to be a fun game. Just one more from I think the Chiefs are going to win, right? I mean, I think they're a better overall team.
Yep.
I think the defense has been a little hit or miss the last couple of weeks, but I think they're still more than capable. They had a good stretch of play against the Eagles last week where that defense was keeping them in the game, much like they did last year. If the Chiefs don't win here, what's at stake here for the Chiefs falling to 0-3?
Then we've got a conversation. If they...
With Baltimore coming up next week.
That's the thing. So 2 of their 3 next games are against, winnable, very winnable opponents. If they lose this one, though, with Baltimore on the horizon...
They have Baltimore at Jacksonville, another night game.
And then the Lions.
Right.
So 50% of the next 2 games are very winnable. The other 50% are pretty tough. But the point is, if they lose the winnable one, to begin with, and then the Ravens are rocking up, particularly if the Ravens still look like the Ravens, well then, I mean, you might be legitimately staring 0-4.
And the Chiefs, and to be fair, like the Chiefs they've been kind of Ravens kryptonite. It's been in the playoffs.
But that's like a good Chiefs team, not one that's lost 3 straight.
Yes,
to begin the season.
And Rashee Rice isn't back until after the Lions game, and so if for some reason you're going to start could you imagine 2-4, 1-5 if you're the Chiefs before Rice gets back? It's almost too late. I mean, you could still make a playoff run and sneak into the playoffs, and as you said, who knows what happens then? But man,
where were Cincinnati last year before they went on the run? They were something.
I mean, the
like
Rams
that, right?
were 1-5.
Right. I think it's possible, but that's a really deep hole. The point is, though, this would be the first game if they lost it where you can't make the argument of the opposition. You know, the last 2 times you say, well, look, the Eagles are the Eagles, and the Chargers apparently are extremely good right now. You can't really say that about the Giants. You know, if you don't beat the Giants, well, now you just lost to a not good team.
But I'm just going to say, on the other hand, I think the Giants have more in them. I think they have more in them defensively. Like if their defense, if they could just cover a little bit better on the back end.
I mean, they should have beaten Dallas. But still, you wouldn't be saying, you wouldn't be making excuses for Kansas City because like losing to the Giants because, look, the Giants are just that good. You know, this would be the first game this season where you're like, whatever about what the Chiefs are right now, they lost to a team that isn't particularly good this week.
All right, man. It's 5.5. Over/under is just 44.5 in a game where the Giants and Cowboys just put up 100.
Yeah.
5.5 in New York Sunday night. Maybe it gets a little windy over there. Does that tighten the game up here? Where are you going to go with this one? There's a lot on the line here. This Sunday night football game.
There is. And Russ, obviously, every week now is battling just to keep himself in the starting job because I'm pretty convinced that at this point they're only ever like a bad half away from saying, Jackson, get in there.
I disagree. I think Russell played really well last week, and that I think last week bought him some time. I don't know why. I mean, keep an eye on the Jackson Dart package, him coming in for a few plays here and there, but I think it's Russell Wilson's job for at least a few more weeks.
Maybe. I think the fact that they're throwing him out there randomly indicates they're readying him, and that only accelerates for
I think they're readying him. I just don't know if it's week to week. We'll see how it plays out. Where are you going to go with this one?
So I think the Chiefs will win the game, but I believe you when you say the Chiefs are not calibrated to lose in 1-score games. I think they'll win this one, but it'll be 1 score.
Yeah, I got the Chiefs by 3, so I'll take the Giants to cover.
Yeah.
Harry's taking the Chiefs to cover. By the way, do you have that Giant stat handy that you sent me? The 60-yard.
So there's 2 different ones. There is one that the 21% of all 60-yard field goals in the NFL since 2014 have been against the Giants, and all of them have been as time expired in the 4th quarter.
That's crazy.
The other stat was something like there have been, was it 7 walk-off 60 or more yard field goals either in the 4th quarter or overtime in NFL history, and 4 of them have been against the Giants.
That was like 20% of them being against. That was like my stat last year. 20% of the 60-yard runs were all just Saquon Barkley.
Right.
That's wild.
It is pretty.
I'm going to go.
It's pretty crazy.
Chiefs. Harrison Butker, 61-yard field goal.
Does he have 60 in him now with his weird knee collapsing style thing?
Yeah, I think.
Does that change his range?
I think he's always got the range. His struggle is extra points. He's like, who's the golfer with a good long game but not a good short game? Good drive but no bad short game. Is that Dustin Johnson a few years ago? Short game. That's Butker. I think he'll crush from 60 plus.
Okay.
All right. Got no more use for that game.
Thanks for watching all the way to the end of the video.
Check the Mic is live every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, so be sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a thing.
And the all-knowing algorithm is convinced you'll also like these videos, and who are we to argue?